Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome on in. Grab a seat. We'll get started in just a moment. Thank you for joining us today. This webinar is being
Yeah,
recorded, so I wanted to let everyone know in the
feel
chat,
comfortable
but
bringing
thank
in
you for
something
being
you can eat.
here today.
Oh, there she is. She's right there. She's like,
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We're going to take a few moments before we get started, but you can grab yourself a snack, a water, your coffee, your tea, and we'll get started just shortly with this presentation for today. Thank you. Thank you. We got some excitement in the chat. Thank you for joining us, Kim. Appreciate you joining us. We appreciate everyone in the chat. We got some Me Too's in the chat. I love to see it. And if you want to be a little bit more engaging as well, don't be hesitant or afraid to turn on your camera. We are all just here to learn and experience this lesson today. It should be a very great time. I want to learn about your nonprofits as well. So thank y'all for being here today. All right, all right. We got the people trickling in, trickling in. Nice. Welcome on in. Hey, Jazzy, I like your background. Like it, I like it. Good to see you on camera. All right, all right. We're letting a few more folks join in, but while we wait for them, if you'd like to just tell me about how you started your day, what was something today that allowed for you to get those 2 feet on the floor from off the bed? What is some of like your routines first thing in the morning? For me, I love to listen to some music that wakes me up and gets me out of bed. So, what are some of the things that woke you up today and got you on the right path to joining in this conversation today? Coffee. I feel like it's gonna be so many coffees. Let's see, let's see. Yes, coffee. Let me pull up my chat so I can see what y'all talking about. I got some dog and coffee. So you had to walk your dog, or the dog comes up and jumps on you and wakes you up. Let's see. Some good music. Nice. Thank you, Kim. Cat and children. LOL. I love that robot mode. You just get up automatically. That's nice. All right. All right, my son. My son. That is hilarious. Thank y'all for putting those wake up alarms in the chat. We got some coffees, we got some music. Somebody actually responded to the my son saying 100. They agree. They absolutely agree. That is funny. Well, I'm not going to hold you guys any much longer. Wanted to say hello and welcome to the Social Media Foundations and Content Creation webinar for nonprofits like yourselves. I'm Tepra Wells, and we're going to be diving into these aspects today. You have a mission that changes lives, you as a nonprofit, but in the digital world, if you aren't visible, it will limit the people that you can serve and that the people that you can reach. So today we're going to bridge that gap and amplify your impact. So I want to thank you all for joining us, and we're going to go ahead and go to the next slide. So we're following a 3-part roadmap today to move you from overwhelmed to action ready. So first, we have the digital landscape. We'll look at that why. the current state of social media and where your donors are actually spending their time. That is very important to know where the people that you would like to support your mission and your voice, where are they spending their time? Where are they at? Next, we're going to talk about the how, that marketing toolkit piece. So that will talk about the actual assets that you need, like video and storytelling frameworks, and the tools that makes and allows that to happen easier. Finally, we have the strategy and execution, the action. So we'll wrap up by discussing how to plan your campaign and most importantly, how to measure your success. And so by the end of this session, you have a clear blueprint for your Give STL campaign. All right, I hope that sounds good for everyone in the space. Cool. But first, let's just introduce ourselves in the chat. We already talked about how we woke up today, what got us out of bed, what brought us to this very moment. So let's introduce ourselves in the chat. I would like for you all, if you want to come off mute too, if you want to have your voice be heard, do so. But in the chat, if you like to type the name of your nonprofit, so who are you representing today? Who are you taking that extra time? What place and organization are you having that extracurricular homework that you want to come and learn more about it? Put that in the chat and also describe your mission in one word if you can do so. We got Legal Services of Eastern Missouri in the space. They are represented by Justice. I am very familiar with you all. Y'all are doing great work. We have Dream Flight, theatrical gymnastics belonging. Okay, different. College Bound, economic mobility. We have Create a Loop, equity, urban harvest, STL, food justice. Oh my goodness, we got so many people in the chat. Yeah, I want y'all also to look at the people that are in this room, all working here in St. Louis and working to get more funding and more donors to support their mission. Tower Grove CDC, your one word is housing. Absolutely. I'm gonna scroll up a little bit because y'all are coming in with some good ones. The Hood Connects. I'm familiar with the Hood Connects. Your one word, well, that's kind of two, y'all. Community health, but we're gonna take it. That works too if we put a hyphen in it. Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, they're finding a cure. Absolutely. 5 acres, animal shelter. Love it. Okay, we got some amazing folks in the building, amazing people in the building. In this chat, Take Two Productions, y'all are in the theater space. I'm just scrolling. I'm seeing so many amazing people here. Thank y'all so much for joining. And once again, your mission and your organization means something to the St. Louis ecosystem. So you all aren't here by happenstance. You are here on purpose and for purpose. So let's get a little bit also into who I am. So thank y'all for introducing yourselves. I'm gonna take some time to really look at all of these folks in here, and I can't wait to learn more about your organizations. But I am Tepra Wells, and I am the founder of Tepra Marketing LLC. We work with different brands and businesses to elevate their social media presence and impact. We do this by specializing in creative, innovative marketing strategies that captures that brand's unique voice, allowing them to connect genuinely with their audience while also scaling their social media presence, impact, and revenue. And I have a bit of experience in nonprofit, for-profit, influence in marketing, and so much more. So much more. So thank y'all once again for being here today. So let's talk about today's focus. So we've broken down today's session into 3 chapters designed to take you from overwhelmed to action ready. The digital landscape will be the first, of course, the why, and we'll dive into that. We're going to look at the sheer scale of social media today and why understanding its environment is the first step to stopping the scroll. I know that sometimes social media can feel very overwhelming. And if it feels overwhelming for you, please put a 1 in the chat. If it feels overwhelming for you, it's okay. Social media can be a place where it is a number of different people there, but you can also learn it, and have it work for you and your brand. So we got a one in the chat. Don't feel ashamed about feeling overwhelmed by social media. It is also a tool that can help amplify your nonprofit's mission. Next, we're gonna talk about, yes, overwhelming is an understatement. Understatement. Okay, we're gonna hope to have things feel a little bit more relieving for you all by the end of this session. That is my hope. One times infinity. Okay, cool. So next, our focus will be we're going to dive into that marketing toolkit. There are some things that you as a nonprofit honestly would need in order for your content to really show itself as something that can stop the scroll. And what do I mean by stop the scroll? If you all ever catch yourself going down your phone and just moving your thumb up and down, but there's something about a one video, a one picture, a one infographic that makes you stop and look, there's usually some strategy behind that stop of that scroll. And so we're going to talk about some of the tools that you will use for that stop scroll and how that framework can help you explore specific channels like videos, high impact imagery or pictures, and then as well as infographics. We'll also cover some essential editing software and storytelling techniques that will transform your content into something that is very engaging and make people actually want to comment on it or share it to their friends or family, etc. And lastly, we have the strategy and execution piece, the action. So we'll see how this action phase, where we discuss how we can plan, publish, and most importantly, measure your success so you can work hard with the impact that you are trying to achieve with your nonprofit. So that is today's focus. And we're going to step into right now the why your nonprofit should use social media. I want to hear some voices in the chat or in the space, if you would like, or put it in the chat. Why do you think your nonprofit needs to use social media? Or why do you feel like social media could help your nonprofit move up a step or in awareness?
So,
Yes, go ahead.
so I believe it's important for a few reasons. I learned more as I started having functions. So social media is really important for visibility, one of the nonprofit, also the moves that we're making because our funders, our people, like on our mission, no one's talking about it. So if we're not on social media, sharing content around it and the impact, then we don't grow either way. So it's more important than what we think.
Yes, most definitely, Jazzy. Thank you for sharing. Do you have any examples of the work that your nonprofit has done where if you share something online, how that has affected either sales or donors or folks just knowing about who you are?
So I actually have a recent example. We were blessed. ServeMo granted us funding to do something for Martin Luther King Day. So by doing that, one, it showed the community because we're in a show me state, so I just have to be honest.
Yeah.
Missouri, you just have to show them. So one of the things that I frequently noticed before I started was that we put up the flyers and nobody knows what's going on. They see the flyer, but nobody knows what happened. Was there an outcome? Did you actually use the money? All of the things that the community thinks, even the funders, did you do it? What would so we usually like do our impact report, on social media for visibility and go on Candid, just to show that, we really are boots to the ground and it makes a difference. We get more invitations to speak or, to collaborate. And it's just merely because of the social content online.
That's well, absolutely well said. Thank you, Jazzy, for sharing that because I agree that one post or a multiple amount of posts online, okay, yes, you're showcasing your mission to the people who you don't see, but there's also something to be said about the folks that you don't necessarily know who you're reaching and where that content is expanding into. It can shoot to the stratosphere. A lot of content has the ability to do so. And I see some stuff in the chat too that social media and why using it for your nonprofit can allow for you to have access to worldwide participants. And Matthew expressed outreach. You just need that one millionaire to see the program and want to donate. Like that's so true. Donate a building. That is, hey man, it happens. Honestly, there are particular strategies in the social media space that will allow for you to see the results that you have wanted to have for your nonprofit all along. And just to speak to Jazzy's point, and put things more in perspective, as early as 2026, y'all, there are over 5.6 billion people active on social media right now. And so that's over two-thirds of the world population. So to just to sum that up, social media isn't just an option anymore. It's one of the primary ways that people are able to research causes and decide where to give. You know, you put the flyers up, you might put something out in a physical marketing space, but social media allows for folks to see it in a much larger reach. Was there any more comments on why they feel like their nonprofit should use social media? I want to make space for conversation too. Yes, thank you, Jassy, for speaking. So another thing I would like to share with this room and this space is that most important that everyone in this room, 55% of people engage with nonprofit content. 55% of people who engage with social media and nonprofit work, they take action, meaning they either want to donate, volunteer, or share your missions to others. And this helps for your mission to reach real world impact. And in an era of AI and a lot of misinformation, nonprofits are among some of the most trustworthy folks and voices online. So your authenticity is your greatest asset. And this is like Ms. Jazzy has expressed, this is the show me state. St. Louis, there are people who have seen your work that maybe know people that's a part of your nonprofit that would love to see your faces online, so would love to hear the stories that you want to share to the audience so they can support and know exactly what their support is going to. People like to know where it's going to. So social media aids in that. So next we're going to talk about just the shout out to Give STL Day for having this platform. Last year, Give STL Day, y'all, they raised 3.5 million for over 1,000 nonprofits here in St. Louis in just 24 hours. So that just shows the power of community and being able to coordinate that digital voice. And I want to have a note too with you all that um, the power of the video. So videos usually retain a lot more folks, by 95%, to see your message rather than reading a text. So if you want your mission to stick out to the public in someone's mind, video will be your best friend. And lastly, a major shift is also happening, you all. Over 60% of people now discover new things through TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts, and that is surpassing a lot of Google search. So it's important to have like those keywords in your social media profiles. Like if you're in St. Louis, have that in your bio. If you are a person who works with specific demographics of folks, have that somewhere within the language of your content so people can be able to search it really easily. So choosing that primary channel. I want to ask the chat. Like I said, I want this to be really interactive with you all. So the biggest question I get all the time is, do I have to be on every platform? I'm gonna wait and see if folks say yes or no. Do you all feel like you should be on every single platform at this point in time with your nonprofit? No, no, no. Okay, absolutely. Yes, we have some yes. No, we have a resounding the ones that you want to connect with. Okay. Yes, so we had some no's, some yes, but I can't. Honestly, I feel like a new social media app pops up every single day. Like I just figured out what Threads was on Instagram. Different people are on different platforms. Absolutely, Matthew. LinkedIn is my friend, so no, yes and no. Okay. So we have some no's. We have some no's. That was a resounding response to that question. And I want to say to the no's, you are correct. The answer is a loud no. You do not have to be on every single platform in order for you to utilize its capabilities. You should want to be amazing in one platform than to be spread thin on 3 or 4 or 5 different platforms that you don't necessarily understand. So one platform, that's a start and that's impact. For Give STL Day, think of Facebook as your home base for deep storytelling, and Instagram or TikTok as your megaphone for reaching new folks and new eyes. And before we post a single thing, we're going to make sure our digital front door, which is your bio or your profile, is clean, is professional, and ready to welcome those new donors. So if you have things that don't necessarily fit your mission, your nonprofit's mission anymore, and it still exists on your profile, on your bio, you want to make sure you update that to the things that you all are now working towards, new goals that you have. And so, in addition to that, not all platforms are created equal. So for Give SEO Day, you want to match your content to the platform's vibe. So Facebook, like I said, that's best for long form storytelling, event updates, and reaching donors age maybe in a demographic of 35 to 65 plus. And so if you're a nonprofit that has a lot of folks that support it or recipients of your care, or services that are in that demographic, that might be the best platform for you to recognize and be on. That's also where a lot of consistent recurring donors exist too, is on Facebook. Instagram. Let's talk about Instagram, y'all. So that can sometimes be one of those ones that gets confusing. The algorithm is so interesting on that platform. But I will tell you this, videos, reels, those perform excellent on Instagram. And like I said in the slides prior to this, video right now is the thing that stops the scroll. And not because it's designed amazing, but that is what the algorithm, that is what the social media space, they really gravitate towards those moving images, the sound, and different things that cater to your sensory needs. So Instagram is really good for those reels behind the scenes. People love to see not only the finished product of what you all are deciding to do or the missions that you have, but they love to see the hard work that goes into it. Even some of the bloopers of things. People love to see the humanistic aspect of your content strategy. And lastly, with the Instagram part, it's a great way for you to reach a younger and more visually driven audience as well. So TikTok, I'm gonna hop over from LinkedIn and go straight to TikTok. TikTok is another new app that can be intimidating, but I will recommend, if you're a nonprofit, if you don't have a TikTok profile yet, I would recommend setting up one, because that is a space where things can go very viral, very quick, and people are using TikTok as the new Google search engine. And I saw that we had some nonprofits in here, the Take Two Productions, you all are in theater. So you all, I'm not sure if you have TikTok or not, but if you all were to post on TikTok and say St. Louis Theater as a part of the caption or a hashtag within that particular post, then when people search St. Louis Theater or St. Louis Productions, you all this content what could possibly be ones that show up in that search feed. Um, I know there's so many different platforms, you all, but it's cool to dip your toe in, a few of them to see how it feels for you. And I'm gonna hop back over to LinkedIn. That's the professional network. LinkedIn is a very underrated space. LinkedIn has the folks usually that do the big doning, that do the big supporting. Those are the folks that are there for the same reason you are, which is professional support. So LinkedIn is best for engaging corporate partners, board members, and local business leaders in St. Louis. So recommending LinkedIn also as a platform, if you do not have that for your nonprofit, maybe experiment with trying to start one for this Give STL Day campaign. And lastly, YouTube Shorts, I would say that acts is the same as a TikTok. You can just take any videos or short reels that you design in Instagram and just upload those onto YouTube. There's no extra editing that you would have to do, no more things that you would have to design. They kind of go hand in hand. So anything you post on Instagram, you can post on TikTok. You can post on YouTube Shorts. So yes, YouTube, I have a question in the chat. So YouTube Shorts is different from YouTube. YouTube Shorts acts, and that's a great question. YouTube acts as the real form, so the short form content, which is usually less than 1 minute. Standard YouTube videos are shot horizontally and they're usually long form. So anything longer than a minute is what a YouTube standard video is, but the YouTube shorts are vertically shot and less than 1 minute or 1.5 minutes long. It's the same aspect and ratio as an Instagram reel or a TikTok reel. And the and just to simplify that even more, the upload process is as simple as if you were to upload a YouTube video. And sometimes they make it easier for you. All you do is just post a video and they tell you where that video goes based on how it's shot and how long it is. So you don't even have to decide, is it going to be a YouTube video? Is it going to be a YouTube short? So I hope that answered your question. And if there are any questions, also you guys hop in the chat, let me know, or come off mute, raise your hand in the space as well. So we're going to move on to that digital front door. Let's get to work. Your bio is your digital elevator pitch. You have about 2 seconds once somebody knows about you or goes to your profile for them to see what exactly you do, to tell your visitor who you are and why they should stay. And so most people sometimes make the mistake of making the bio about them or just an individual of the organization. I will recommend that you will want to make that bio the mission, the how you would want the donors to speak about themselves. So instead of saying, "Hey, we're a 501(c)(3) founded in 1990," try saying something like in the bio, saying, "We feed 500 families in North County every week." That's something that will stop the scroll, that will cause some type of interest in who you are and want to know more about what you do. So I want us to take a moment and do this exercise really quickly. So use the template on the screens to draft your new bio right now. And if you already have one that looks like this, great job. You're already one step ahead. But I want to make room for folks that are new to this experience, especially if they're a new nonprofit with new social media presence. So if you want to draft your new bio right now, and bonus points if you use Give STL Day in it as a call to action, that helps as well. So the first few lines will be who you are. In the second part of the sentence, the formula would be the problem we solve. And the last point of that formula would be how you can help today. So an example of that of a bio would be empowering STL youth, breaking the cycle of poverty through one-on-one mentorship, and located in St. Louis. And then that last call to action, that how can you help, would be help us reach 10K, a $10,000 goal for Give STL Day with a link tree, of course, URL'd. And so I want to take a moment to allow for folks to maybe craft their own bio for their nonprofit right now. And that helps with pitching as well. Mhm. So we have one in the chat. Using gymnastics, dance, and theater to give athletics and arts to St. Louis youth of all ages and needs. Help us reach our $100,000 goal to save our academy. Love that. Love that. And so that touches on the the services that you all provide, where you're located, and even the demographic that you service. So the youth of all ages. And lastly, that call to action, allowing people to know and be transparent about that 100%, that $100,000 goal to save your academy. So thank you for sharing that digital front door. So if you want to add that to your bio, highly recommend. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Let's see. I'm gonna give a few more moments for some more to come in. All right, perfect. 3 daughters and 1,000 sons. We give information on expungement options in Missouri. Our campaign is 100 petitions in 100 days, and the goal is to raise 75,000 to file them. Nice. That is a great one, and we want to make sure also that we add so with the them at the end, we want to make sure we really reiterate what the them is. And so, like really expanding on those points too. But that is a great one. Thank you for sharing that one. And I'm going to read this one as well. Increasing access to justice. Free, high quality civil legal aid to provide action. Justice Hope. Help us reach our goal of 70 donors to celebrate our 70th anniversary. Give STL Day. Nice. And I love how you added the 70 donors to the 70th anniversary. I love how you all are playing with numbers in these bios. So we have 100 petitions in 100 days and 70 donors and for to celebrate the 70th anniversary. Those are things that help things stick. These are really good, y'all. So make sure you add these in your bios and also link the actual link to where they need to donate. Make it very easy for people to see when they go on your platforms. And last one, I'm gonna read this last one too. Jazzy says, Lala Speaks Foundation, turning pain into passion through brain health awareness, survivor support, and community education. And they're raising 20,000 to grow Silent Sounds, Loud Impact, our flagship brain health awareness experience that helps communities recognize warning signs, spark life-saving conversations, and access trusted education. Support our Give STL Day campaign here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I love how you went into depth about all the things you all do. I would recommend maybe shortening that just a tad bit for that bio, but the content within it is very good. Thank you for sharing, everybody for sharing and giving it a try. Nice, nice, nice. How do you, okay, ooh, I'm looking at the chat, you all. So we like I said, this is gonna be very conversational. So if you also want to come off mute too. So I have a question in the chat. It says, how do you generate interest in a cemetery? That is going to that actually is something that could be you guys can expand on that with the tours. Do you all give tours of the cemetery? Do you all offer those things? And what is okay, nice. So I would recommend leaning into maybe doing like a walkthrough tour about what all goes into the cemetery and talking about some of the key points of restorating those cemetery tombstones or just the land itself. I would do like a tour if that's something that might be interesting to the public. I recently did a cemetery tour and it was so interesting. I never knew it would be that cool, but it was. And so that's something that people don't see every day. So think of it as like posting things that people don't necessarily see every day. And a tour could be really cool if you're doing like a vlog or a short tour of that cemetery as well. You're very welcome. And then so I also have another question here. It says, should the link be Give SEL Day or should the link be your own donation page? I would recommend if you want someone to donate directly to you, we love Give STL Day and everything that they're doing, but your campaign specifically, if you want them to donate directly to you, I would recommend having that exact link. We want to minimize the amounts of clicks that people have to make in order to fulfill that call to action, which is donate to our organization. So you want things to go straight direct. If you can have it even go straight to the place where they can pay and put their credit card information in. That kind of stuff is helpful for folks to just be able to, they already know what they want to do. They want to click it and then they want to donate. So make it very accessible for them to go straight to where you need them to be. All righty. And thank y'all for offering suggestions to folks in the chat as well. So we're going to go to the next slide. We're going to talk about the art of the hook. All right. So if your content is a book, the hook is the front cover. You have less than 3 seconds to capture someone's attention before they move to the next cat video or dance trend. Who knows what's happening now online as we're even speaking and talking right now. So you want something that's going to draw them in. And a great hook does one of three things. It makes them feel something, it makes them wonder something, or it makes them want to help. So look at the examples on the screen right now and notice how we shift the focus from what we're doing to impact the donor, what we're doing to what the donor can do to impact the work of the nonprofit. So these are some examples here. So an emotional pull would be because of you, Mr. Biscuit, which I would say is a dog or a cat. This would go for the animal shelter folks in the space has a safe place to sleep tonight. Or a surprising stat. Did you know that 1 in 5 kids in St. Louis are reading below the national literacy rate? And then the last example or type could be the direct challenge, where we have 24 hours to change 100 lives. Are you in? So these are some ways that you can get folks to know exactly what you're reaching out for and allow them to not waste much time to get to the end of the content to learn about. So that's the art of the hook. You really want to tap into that emotion, that urgency, and that curiosity. I'm going to show you in the next slide some of the things that you can use, some tools that you can use to elevate your social media content. I highly recommend, folks, and this is something that's not free, but it can be affordable if it's bought in like bundle packages online. But I highly recommend that you all invest in tripods for either your phone or your digital cameras that you own, a mic, which can be those handheld small ones, those retail for now like almost $20. And you can plug that into your phone and you can speak that mic. The mic allows for folks to hear you. The audio, there are three things that stick out for folks when it comes to visual content. And that's the audio, those are the visuals, and then that's the lighting. You want those three things to kind of be the baseline for the work and the content that you create. And so that goes into like purchasing or maybe investing in a ring light. And you don't have to buy the most expensive camera or whatever. You can use your phone right now as that source of content tool. You can shoot videos and you can take pictures on it. And it works just as fine as something that costs thousands of dollars to have. And so I have some good news. So like I said, you don't need a $10,000 cinema camera or a full production team to tell your story. Some of the most impactful and powerful storytelling tools in the world are already in your pocket. So before you move from amateur to someone that's more experienced in the eyes of your donors, these are some of the four areas or the four things that you would need, and I recommend that you have. So the phone camera, you could just take that. Whether you are team iPhone or team Android, your current device is likely compatible with just shooting in 4K videos. So there are also tutorials and suggestions online that recommend um, what type of style or ways that you can shoot your content. via video. So there are 4K options, there's 1060 speed options, but you can Google all of that and learn what works best for your phone and what can optimize that video quality. The secret isn't just the megapixels, it's also the stability and the sound. And so the tripod is what adds the stability. If you're filming and things are moving and it's out of focus, sometimes that makes it hard for your viewers or the folks that are viewing your content to focus and see what you're sharing. So it's a little unprofessional to have like a shaky handheld situation unless that's your brand's tone. But a simple 72-inch adjustable tripod or some type of monopod, which is you can hold that in your hand and sit it on your desk. They're very small. Those are the things that would ensure that your message stays focused. So it allows you to set it down, forget it, and just actually engage with the people when you're speaking to the camera or when you're filming. The mic, that is something that can be very important. If you can't hear what I'm saying, how can you know what I'm talking about? And so mics are something that you want to have within this toolkit. Investing in something as simple as one of those dual lapel microphones that kind of clamp onto your shirt or wherever you need it to be. Those can be some of the things that helps your subject pop out in content and plugs you. And it also just plugs directly into your phone. So it helps cancel out any background noise and all those things. And we have like lights, just to sum it all up. The natural light is your best friend, but it can sometimes be inconsistent. So things like basic ring lights or portable LED panels, things that you can clamp onto your phone, those are stuff that can help you stand out on your social media content as well. So instead of filming somewhere dimly lit, try to step aside and go towards a lamp or towards a window when it's bright. These are things that can help just elevate that social media content. So next, I'm going to talk about some software you all can use. If you've heard or seen any of these software that are on this page, you can put a thumbs up or a one in the chat just to say you've seen them and you're aware of them. But we talked about some hardware, but let's talk about the brain of the operation, which is the software. This is something that brings it all together. So you don't need to be a graphic designer, I'm telling you all now, or a professional film editor to create some high impact content. I really want to give you all the the encouragement that these things you all can accomplish, your team can accomplish. If you have a marketing team, they can do these things and it doesn't take much extreme training and you can just do it from your own home. So these four tools are some of the industry standards for small teams because they do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. I mentioned these specifically because I'm very familiar with them and they work very well in the work that I do with my clients. So for editing, we have CapCut and Instagram Editor. These are, so one of the platform softwares is free, and it's an Instagram editor. You can edit your content on that for free. You can also edit content on TikTok editor for free as well. CapCut, they offer a free trial. They also have free versions of it. But if you really want to expand on the quality of the content, then I recommend investing your your team investing in the premium package or the CapCut Pro. Um, and so those are just some of the editing softwares that I recommend. And also for design, we had Canva, which is absolutely free for nonprofits. There is a way that you can apply for Canva. You just submit the fact that you're a 501c3 and send them over the documents that represent that you are certified as a nonprofit, and you will receive actually Canva Pro for free. And so that is something that can be very affordable and accessible to you and your team to design social graphics. They have thousands and thousands of templates. You don't have to design a flyer from scratch. You can go to a template, plug in a picture, plug in your content from your nonprofit, and then that can be something that you can share and be very eye-catching for your audience. And lastly, for just some content ideas, ChatGPT or Gemini, or even just brainstorming with your team, sitting at a table and working out some of the things that you want to share to your platform. But for something to go a little quicker, ChatGPT and Gemini, these are AI databases. And Gemini is the Google form of ChatGPT, but you plug in a prompt. If you want to say, hey, I need some ideas for Give STL Day. I need like video ideas for Give STL Day. You can type that into one of those AI databases and it'll come up with a number of different prompts or suggestions or ideas for you to just get started. Sometimes the hardest part is just getting started, figuring out what the idea is. And these particular tools are there to help you get that head start on creating that content for Give STL Day campaigns. We have some suggestions also in the chat about other AI tools that you can use. Thank you for adding that, Amaya. We got Poe.com. I have not heard of that one, but I will give that one a look. We also have Sage,
Oh, that's
Sandra.
okay. It's just a Give STL Day webinar.
Okay, nice. Okay. It's also a helpful AI tool. And then we have Sage, which is a chat GPT administrative assistant. So even having a virtual assistant is helpful with you all creating content and really showcasing what you do and getting those ideas from their mind onto the platform. So I'm going to show an example of some work. Um, I'm gonna show you an example of some videos and content that I've done with a client that kind of ropes in all of those points that we talked about. We talked about the hook, we talked about the tools, and we talked about the software. And so I'm going to show you all an example of what it looks like to not use any of those things versus to incorporate those pieces within your social media content. So we're gonna go to the next slide and it has some sound. So option one is going to showcase the unedited, the one that does not have the tools that we shared prior.
3 things that you've been told about menopause that are just flat out wrong.
So that one is cool. The lighting looks good. We have the audio pieces, and we also have the subject in focus and still formed. We also next to that we have an unedited thumbnail. So that will be something that exists on your timeline where people when they're scrolling specifically on Instagram that they will see in that grid-like form. This option one is cool, but let's see how option two, when we play that video, how does it differ from option one when we incorporate all those tools?
3 things that you've been told about menopause that are just flat out wrong.
So that option included music. We had some movement where the camera was moving forward, and we also included captions. So as the subject was speaking, the words were highlighting as she was speaking. And I recommend to you all to use captions in your social media content because most times people are watching and looking at content on mute. They're not even listening to the audio at times. And for whatever reason, that is the case most times. And so to have that caption, it allows for people to experience your content beyond just the audible part. It also allows them to see. It's also very much inclusive to folks that may not have hearing capabilities or it's difficult for them to hear. So having caption also is a very inclusive tool that you can use. And next to that video, we have the thumbnail. And so if this exists on your timeline, you would know right away what that video is talking about. And you will have like expectations to what it would say before you even click on it. And so I want to take some time to also ask the chat, what are some of the things that stood out to you for these two options, option one and option two? What are some of the things that you saw incorporated that you say, hey, like that is something that will allow for me to be hooked in. Yes, great option. So someone in the chat expressed that using the captions is a great point. Yes, absolutely. And the way the colors carry through, most definitely. And then we have option two, definitely feels more interactive and engaging. And so just adding like those small details to a content piece can allow for it to be more interactive and more engaging and cause for people to know and stop the scroll to see exactly who you are and what your mission is. And so we're going to move to the planning and the publishing of it all. So I want to give you all back your time. So the biggest mistake that most nonprofits make is trying to post everything on the day of the events. On May 7th, which is Give STL Day, you should be celebrating your team and calling your donors and not struggling with a caption. So usually we use batch and schedule system. And batch and scheduling system is when you sit down for a few hours or maybe for a week and you just film a number of different videos that will be able to exist separately. This looks like by April 22nd, when early giving starts, some of your core posts should already be sitting in your scheduler or ready to go. So for those on a budget, Meta Business Suite is a free, powerful tool that lets you schedule to both Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So these don't exist for LinkedIn at the time, but you can go in LinkedIn and schedule posts ahead of time. That feature does exist. And if you want something even simpler, Buffer also offers a great free plan for nonprofits. This allows you to set it and forget it and allows you to be present for the moments that matter, which is maybe responding to comments or responding to inquiries about why your content or your mission was so amazing for people to see. And this 3 execution plan, it really helps you break down that time and making sure that you have time to respond to those comments and not necessarily be building and creating content days and days and days after. So working on that batch content recording and scheduling time just to record hours of content. Maybe one day, like take a day out of your schedule and have someone come and record you, or you can go and set up a tripod with your mic and phone, or you can go to the organization and the facility and do a tour of the cemetery. Whatever you may do, like you can do that all in one day and then cut it and slice it into like different types of content, and it can exist for weeks leading up to your campaign. So I wanted to also share like the Give STL schedule. So early giving starts Wednesday, April 22nd, meaning that in the beginning of April, it's time to start launching some of your content. So this is a great time that you are learning about content creation and just the tools that you will need to do and have in order for you to just get started on creating that content. And of course, the big event, which is going to be May 7th, where you all are going to be showcasing that last push for those donations. And be sure just to register for the deadline by April 30th. And so just making sure that you participate from now until the last day is going to be key in the way that you show up online. So as we're talking now, once this concludes, we'd love for you all to sit down and brainstorm with your team to figure out, hey, what kind of content can we create and showcase to our platforms that will allow for them to go and click that link to Give STL campaign when early giving starts in April. And so this is just a calendar that showcases like kind of the timeline of when you probably should start doing some pre-launch, launching like full capacity for what your campaign is, and then also that impact that day of. So I'm not going to tell you what you should be doing, but it would be highly recommended just to get some pieces about what you guys got coming up or some cool events starting this like April 6th all the way into early giving, being consistent from there to then. And then when you get into that April 22nd week, just start showcasing that your campaign is receiving early giving. And last but not least, last day, which is May 7th, you all should be pushing for that last push for those donors to come and showcase and support your mission and just be celebrating what you all have already been able to accomplish thus far. You all being here, going to these webinars, these sessions, this is content in itself. You can share this in a status, or you can take a picture of the flyer and say, hey, our team, we attended this webinar and we're looking forward to attending more Give STL Day webinars, and we're looking forward to the entire Give STL campaign. Just start thinking about ways that just normal day, normal actions can be translated into content that you share with your audience. And so I would love to just thank you all for being here, attending this session with me. I have some ways that you can stay connected. And of course, there will be follow-up emails on just some more in-depth strategies for how you can create content. But these were some of just the pillars of how you can take your ideas into donors. And so you can follow me on my socials at Tepra Marketing LLC, or email me at tepramarketingco@gmail.com. I want to thank you all so much for being here, and I want to open the floor for any questions or comments as well. Okay, we got a question in the chat. This is probably a stupid question. There's no stupid question, but is there a webinar on how to go viral? Okay, so there are some ways that you can pop up in the algorithm more than you would usually do. I would recommend if there is a trending sound, so like an audio that is right now trending, that goes on that is right now the hype. If you add that into your content, like in the background or something, that picks up. That means like you're kind of adding into that. So like there are different things like adding trendy music into your content. But honestly, virality, it's kind of happenstance. Sometimes it happens intentionally, sometimes it happens unintentionally. But I will recommend that like that hook piece. You want to get somebody in 3 seconds. At 3 seconds prior to your video even going to the end is going to add in people rewatching it or sharing it. How often do you recommend posting, especially on TikTok? TikTok is one of those things where you can post all day, every day. The algorithm actually loves when you overpost on TikTok versus like maybe a LinkedIn or a Instagram. So I would recommend on TikTok, if you want to post every day, that is something that you can do. And then also like if you have the insights or a dashboard where you can see where your followers are most active, so they can be most active on Mondays versus Wednesdays, or in the morning at 8 a.m. versus 3 p.m. in the afternoon. You want to take a look at some of those insights on your social media platforms to see where is your audience already engaging. What times are they on your platforms already? And kind of play around with posting of those times and those days. But thank you guys so very much. Once again, please don't hesitate to reach out to those ways to stay connected, my social media ads or my email address. And I want to thank Give STL Day for the opportunity to speak to you nonprofits. You all are doing amazing work, and I wishing you luck and success in your Give STL Day campaign. Thank you.